Okay, everybody, let's dive into acquisition by find. If you are listening to this video, it means that you are in your Property 1 class in law school. And this is the first thing that you're more likely going through in your class. I'm going to go through three basic things here: abandoned property, lost property, and mislaid property. These are very small issues on written exams. However, they are mainly MBEs. So in the multiple choice, watch out, because you will see this. It's rare to see this in an essay. However, the MBE section will have this. So know the definitions and you'll be fine. So let's dive into this. Abandoned property, which is the first one here. Definition: property is abandoned when the owner no longer wants to possess it. Abandoned property belongs to the finder against all others, including the owner. An example of this is basically the most famous thing that I could think of is, let's just say you're walking in your neighborhood, your suburban neighborhood, and you happen to see someone put a for free sign right next to a chair, a couch, or whatever. That person is abandoning their property in order for anyone else to possess it. Let's go back to our definition. Property is abandoned when the owner no longer wants to possess it. So in our example here, the person who is trying to give away their chair for free no longer has the intent to possess that chair. Abandoned property belongs to the finder against all others, including the former owner. So that means, let's just say John finds this chair on someone else's driveway. And again, this person is giving this chair for free, right? We discussed this, the for free sign. John, if he wants it, he can take it because he's technically the finder, right? No one else has a right to this chair except for John, because he found the chair, he has possession of the chair, and the owner of this chair voluntarily wanted to give up their interests and rights to that property. And the former owner cannot just go back to John while he's taking it into his car and it says, "Oh, John, I don't want it anymore." That doesn't cut it, okay? Because the abandoned property belongs to the finder against all others, including the former owner. So the former owner, let's say James, cannot go up to John and tell him that, "Hey, I want my chair back." It's too late. You already gave up your possession of that item. You're just too late. That's basically what I'm trying to say. He was too late. James was too late. It belongs to John now. So that's abandoned property. So watch out for the owner's intent. That's the most important thing for abandoned property. The intent of the owner is going to be very key for all three, but especially for abandoned property. So let's move on to lost property. Lost property is pretty straightforward. Lost property means when the owner unintentionally parts with his or her possession of the property and does not know where it is. An example of this is, let's say Riley unintentionally lost his wallet at the bar while buying a beer and cannot find it. So let's say Riley was using his checking card. He opened up his wallet, took the credit card out of his wallet, and wanted to purchase the beer. And he actually left the beer at the bar counter. And after that, he doesn't know where it is. He walked away from the bar while his wallet is still on the counter, and he accidentally lost it. That is an example of lost property. The old wallet example, right? When you find a wallet on the sidewalk and you don't know whose wallet it is, and you turn it into the police station, that is an example of lost property. But the owner must unintentionally part with that item. So it can't be a thing where it was voluntary. It must be unintentional, right? Because remember our example up here with abandoned property, the owner voluntarily wanted to give up that possession. In lost property, that's not the case. It's a situation where Riley unintentionally lost that item. So technically speaking, if someone finds it is technically Riley's, and it's a state-by-state statute on whether or not he has to wait a certain period of time to see whether or not he can repossess it. Because if someone finds it, if they wait, let's say 12 months, they can repossess, and that person will keep that wallet while Riley's out of luck. So that's lost property. So remember, the intent here is the owner unintentionally parting with that property, and he or she does not know where it is. Lastly, number 3, mislaid property. Mislaid property is when the owner voluntarily puts his or her property in a certain place, then forgets where it is. An example of this, let's say Kevin put his phone in his house before work. 8 hours later, when he comes back home, he forgets where he placed it in the home. So this is an example of the owner of the property, Kevin, voluntarily placing his wallet in a certain place in his home. But afterwards, he simply just forgot where it is. So it's not a situation where someone can just grab his wallet and then keep it. It's not a situation where Kevin voluntarily forgot where it is. It was a situation where he voluntarily placed his property in a certain spot, but then he just forgot about it. He doesn't know where it is. So that is a situation of mislaid property. So I hope this was pretty straightforward. I'm going to make a lot more videos. COVID really held me back. So I'm going to get into gifts in property. I'm going to go into adverse possession, and we're going to talk about some civil procedure. So if you have civil procedure or property class this semester, you're in luck. A buttload of videos are coming your way. See you again.